Okay, hello and welcome everybody. Today is February 15th, Sunday, February 15th, and we are gathered here for the Pleiadian Sunday Schools. And Soma is taking a much needed break for the next now 2.5 weekends. She returns on March 1st to be the host, and I am your alternate host, Emily Skala. We are joined today so far by Seth and Dia. And I am going to start the session with a healing prayer by Padre Pio. Maybe you've seen it. I think it was probably circulating on social media last week. But I wanted to try it and see how everybody feels about it here on this platform. Heavenly Father, I thank you for loving me. I thank you for sending your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, to the world to save me and to set me free. I trust in your power and grace that sustain and restore me. Loving Father, touch me now with your healing hands, for I believe that your will is for me to be well in mind, body, soul, and spirit. Cover me with the most precious blood of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, from the top of my head to the soles of my feet. Cast out anything that should not be in me. Root out any unhealthy and abnormal cells. Open any blocked arteries or veins and rebuild and replenish any damaged areas. Remove all inflammation and cleanse any infection by the power of Jesus' precious blood. Let the fire of your healing love pass through my entire body to heal and make new any diseased areas so that my body will function the way you created it to function. Touch also my mind and my emotion, even the deepest recesses of my heart. Saturate my entire being with your presence, love, joy, and peace, and draw me ever closer to you every moment of my life. And Father, fill me with your Holy Spirit and empower me to do your works so that my life will bring glory and honor to your holy name. I ask this in the name of Lord Jesus Christ. So be it. It is so. And now, with that, I will pull up one short musical meditation, as I like to call it. Almighty, and hopefully that will raise the frequencies and protect us during our Zoom meeting. That was something called Schlummerlied, which means lullaby, by Robert Schumann. And that was one of my performances from 2017, I think, up in Rochester, New York, not too far from where Amira lives. Hi, Julia. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. That was really beautiful.
Thank you. Okay, we did a little prayer before that, and that was our musical meditation that you entered in on. And what's going on with you, Julia? I haven't seen you in such a long time. How are you? What's on your mind?
I'm good. I've been working on a course and I've just finished that now, so I'm free getting back into my normal podcasting schedules and healing schedules, so I'll be more regular now.
Okay, yeah, you've been extremely busy. Good to have you with us. And Seth is like walking to the store and back, but he'll be participating in a little while. And I just wanted to tell everybody that something that's not in the news, most likely, and God knows if it ever will be, but the Federal Reserve Bank is no more. It's been its functions or whatever have been taken over by the U.S. Treasury. That should mean that all Federal Reserve banks will close. I don't know how many there are. There are a few. Sorry about my kitty. And also 2,400 banks have shut down this week, and I can't find any mention of it on the internet, of course. And they have had to shut down because of the Federal Reserve gambling, their sort of fractionalized reserve handling of the purchasing of silver. They sold like 84% more silver than they had, and they couldn't meet the demand. They were selling something called silver certificates, so paper instead of the silver. And anyway, that's what made the system go bust. They were caught in their fraud, red-handed, over silver. And so what that means is that the Rothschilds no longer have monetary control over anyone in the world. And so that is something to be celebrated. So, and that news comes to me and many other people through the fiduciary of the United States of America, unincorporated. Dia, I see you have a question. Please go ahead.
A little bit of a comment because I follow some tarot readers, and one of them just did a reading on the upcoming eclipse with another astrologer that she's teamed up with now. And what's supposed to be occurring for this eclipse is what you're talking about. So I'm sitting here with chills.
Oh, wow.
It's like a big financial shift is going to occur. But the tarot reader got that we won't know about it for maybe a couple of weeks, but it's behind the scenes, it's happening. Is that not amazing? I'm like sitting here with goosebumps all over.
I saw that same reading. I watched that also, the tarot reading.
Yeah.
Cool.
Did you guys see the same tarot reading? Who were you watching?
Yes, it sounds like it.
John Claude, Beyond Mystic.
Yeah, Beyond Mystic. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good in case anybody else wants to watch that.
It's John Claude with Tarot by Janine and their new astrologer. I think her name is Astrid.
Okay. Okay, excellent. Thank you for that sharing. That's awesome. And what day is that eclipse supposed to happen?
Tuesday, the 17th.
Yeah, the 17th.
It's coming right up.
Yeah.
Is that a solar or a lunar eclipse?
I don't know. I forgot to look up where it is.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who doesn't really know.
That's a solar eclipse. There's a lunar eclipse in March or May or something, but this is a solar. Yeah.
And where will it be able to be viewed, Seth? Do you know?
I was just going to look at that today. Yeah, I'm going to find that out.
Okay.
Okay, awesome.
It's funny. It segued into that. I wanted to talk to you about the eclipse earlier.
Yeah, here we are. Do you have anything more about the eclipse you want to say? You were writing to me some more stuff, but
I have to grab my phone.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. Julia, are there any world events you want to focus on today that I might
Honest,
know about?
yeah, I've not been paying much attention to anything for a while,
Okay.
so
All
I need
right.
to kind of get back out there and see what's going on this side here in the UK as well.
Okay. All right. Well, in the meantime, I was doing some reading this morning while Dia goes to get her phone. I was doing
I'm
some
here.
readings.
I'm back.
Well, there you are. Okay, wonderful. Let's focus on the eclipse then for a minute.
Okay, so I'm just going through my notes. Just to back up with what Soma and the Pleiadians talked about both in the weekend show. I don't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday. And what did you the Wednesday group? What do you call it? The boot camp.
Boot camp.
And they had mentioned pulling out crystals
All
and
right.
putting your crystals in the water and just so I've been putting mine in the sun and just wearing them. And so I'm going to read what I found online about this upcoming eclipse. Many in the spiritual community view the February 17th, 2026 solar eclipse in Aquarius as a, quote, quantum leap for collective consciousness and personal authenticity, rather than traditional manifestation, which some practitioners avoid during eclipses due to chaotic energy. Most are focusing on radical release and inner alignment. Common spiritual themes: the Great Reset. People are talking about breaking old patterns, ending cycles of people pleasing, and stepping into their weird or authentic selves. Regarding community and technology, since it's an Aquarius, discussions center on finding your tribe and how technology can better serve humanity. Then there's fate versus will. Many believe eclipses bring fated changes, so the focus is on surrender rather than forcing specific outcomes, which I find interesting. So it's focused on surrender rather than forcing specific outcomes. Popular rituals and plans. Wait a minute. Popular rituals and plans cleansing. That's a weird sentence to me. Using sage, salt baths, or sound healing to clear the deck for new energy.
Probably they mean cleansing rituals.
Yeah, popular rituals and plans. I don't know, the word plans in there is kind of weird. So shadow work, journaling about fears or outdated identities that need to be eclipsed out of your life. Charging crystals, placing stones like fire quartz or red jasper out to soak up the unique ring of fire energy. And as far as meditation, sitting in silence to receive downloads or intuitive hits about future life directions.
Yeah, good, wonderful. The only thing I don't like about all of that was the use of the phrase "the Great Reset," which is a World Economic Forum term, and maybe we could just, for our purposes, call it sort of a recalibration, a reboot of our system, of our soul system, and but the rest of that sounds really good.
Thank you. There are two sides to everything. So, like the number 13, for instance, it can be used either way. It can be for good or for bad.
Yeah, that is true. But that specific phrase was coined by the World Economic Forum, and so I don't like to, I don't like to use their terminology and their their legalese, or if I don't have to.
Understood.
Yeah, so I don't have to.
Okay.
So we'll just, let them have their system over there, and we'll have our
fair enough.
Our environment over here. Okay.
So
anyway,
it coincides with the Chinese New Year, the fire horse energy coming in. And I have a little bit of information about that if anybody wants to hear that.
Absolutely.
Because I've got the card deck, the Chinese 5 Elements Oracle by Vicky Iskander, which is quite a detailed deck and beautifully illustrated. And it says, Fire Horse, effortless vitality. Strong fire element dominates the fire horse pillar, bright, lively, and vibrant. Yang fire loves unconditionally and gives generously. The jovial horse, also a yang fire sign as a peach blossom star, is social, fun, loving, and blessed with charisma and a warm heart that naturally make it the center of attention. All this fire can lead to nervous energy and restlessness. However, especially after sundown, fortunately there's hidden yin earth inside the horse to help calm the excess fire, which can be accessed in times of silence and solitude. So we're moving into an enthusiastic time of the divine telling us that we are on fire. We're being noticed for positivity and passion, to stay focused and to bring in happiness, joy, and ease at this time, and to be rewarded by the universe. So the fire horse energy appears to encourage us to follow our excitement, to stoke the fire within, embrace what we love, and say yes to new experiences, to discover more joy and open new doors that lead to an even higher purpose. So this is a really positive change for us, moving out of that snake energy into fire horse energy this year now. This is great.
Wow, thank you for that reading. That was I love that all this sort of rekindling, the flame, the motivation, the creativity, maybe even the purpose, rekindling that at this time. That's exactly what I need to do. I've been kind of in a lull, healing myself, waiting. Christy's here. Welcome, Christy.
But I think that's because with the snake energy, that's what we've been doing, is like nurturing and shedding and resting as we get ready to move into the stable fire horse fiery energy.
Hi, well, Christy. Yeah, good. I mean, for me, there was no fighting it, so I was totally in that, I guess. Hi, Christy. What's going on for you today? What's on your mind?
How do you respond to that question? Honestly.
That would be good. You can honestly respond. That's fine.
What's on my mind? Well, my mind was to come in here and say hello. So what was on my mind that brought me to that thought?
Have you had any encounters with Renturists lately about what's going on in the world?
I was away for a few days during the week, and I was in a place called Gozo in Malta. So I really enjoyed that. And
what was the name of the place?
Gozo in Malta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. So I had some experiences which I'll share when we're not recording if you'd like to hear them, but we're on record now at the moment. So
I'm actually doing a grid working podcast about Malta and some other areas tomorrow. So I know on the main island there you've got the Hypogeum, is it, the Sound Caves? But I was drawn to Gozo, but I couldn't find anything there. So yeah, I'd love to hear that once we finish recording.
Yeah, I'll share that. Yeah, that's no problem.
You were in Malta. You said you were in Malta?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
it's an island off Malta.
Yes,
I flew into Malta.
Okay, and what was the other place you went to?
Well, Gozo is part of Malta, even though it's a separate island. That's where I went to.
Oh, okay. Wow, interesting.
It was, yeah, very interesting.
Did you run into any Knights of Malta?
Not this time, but I've had experiences with the Jesuits in the past on that island. I can share off record. But yeah, it's a beautiful place. Highly recommend to go. Really nice. Yeah, so I had a few days there just with a backpack, and I just walked and relaxed and ate street food and swam and things like that. Like, it was a nice break.
So you are refreshed?
Yeah. I am refreshed, yeah. But I had some experiences, as I said. I'll share them later, while I was there. And so it was really interesting how it played out. And it went on for a few days, so yeah.
Well, there's nothing saying we have to wait. I can turn off the recording, pause the recording, and then you can tell us, and we'll take it up again. Then.
Okay, I don't mind. Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
Let me just do that. Okay, welcome back, everybody. We did take a pause there, quite a lengthy pause to discuss some things that were of a more personal nature, and then we took a break, and now we are back. We are continuing with our Pleiadian Sunday School of February 15th, while Soma is on a much-needed break until March 1st, and we have now with us a few more people. We have Dia and Seth and Christy Clark and Dennis Mulcahy. I would say Mulcahy, but I think in Ireland you say Mulcahy. and so we were, yes, and so we were just discussing some news from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Vis-a-vis the vaccines that came out for the pandemic. And so, Christy, do you want to repeat your observations about it? I think we started somewhere around how many vaccines were required per child and the purpose of those 72 vaccines by the age of 18. Are you willing to offer your opinion about the higher purpose of all of that one more time, just for our listeners in the future?
Yeah, well, I do believe there's an agenda there, to push that amount of chemicals on a human at that age group, and as we know, pharmaceuticals are big business, and to live in certain parts of the world, you are obliged to take these vaccines if you want to educate yourself, if you want to be employed in certain areas, so. It's interesting what they've pushed really on us, really to sort of comply, and we're now in a situation where people are beginning to realize really the harm that these vaccines are causing, So, so it's interesting from that perspective,
But you were also saying that you felt that the harm was for a higher purpose, and these children who have come in and been.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of the children that are coming in as we speak have to be vaccinated, and I do personally believe that is affecting their DNA structure, and it's having an impact on really their purpose for coming in, really, as a light of sort, to carry that torch to Earth for various reasons, if it's to allow their parents to understand the abilities that the child has, and to help humanity. And I do believe that was, and that is the reason for a lot of the children coming forward, the indigo the star children. And some of you may be aware of the walk-ins also that are coming in from other realms. So I do believe they try to stop that.
Also, you were saying you felt that these children were coming in and receiving the vaccinations to facilitate the awakening of their parents. Did I understand you correctly?
Yeah. I've heard so many stories and read some updates on that in the past, where parents realize that their children that they have conceived have these amazing gifts, really, and these amazing gifts have, supported their parents in many different ways on their spiritual journey, just having a child in the family that, has the potential to explain to mommy and daddy that I came from another planet, or I came from another reality, and I'm here to support you and here to support the collective in different ways. That continues to surface, and we continue to read that up online. There's been many articles that continue to show really that is real and it is happening. So how do they stop that? That's the big question, and why are they trying to stop it? As we touched before the break, the issues with children on the spectrum as we speak. I know in this part of the world, in this country, it's quite significant. So. And people are still trying to understand these different illnesses that children are presenting with or diagnosed with, like, if it's the autism spectrum, it's ADHD, Asperger's, and many others, like, and nobody has come up with an answer. Like, they're all given some insights as to the possibilities. They're putting it down to different reasons. But I believe personally myself that there's another agenda going on,
Yeah, Nicholas Hulcher recently came out with information about the side-by-side study of the vaccinated versus unvaccinated children, and he says there are about 8 diseases now that are definitively attributed to the vaccines. Like you said, it could be the ADHD, not could be. ADHD, autism, childhood diabetes. Those were 3 that I remember. Yes, if I remember more, I'll articulate those later. And then we were also talking about big pharma a little bit, which led me to observe that I had just read a post, probably this morning. Honestly, I read so many, but I think it was this morning, a post from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. talking about that all of this was the production of the vaccines, actually, the what do they call it? Operation Warp Speed. This was a military operation, and not only, I used to hear that the Operation Warp Speed was actually to make I don't know if it was an inert kind of vaccine that would be harmless instead of the ones the pharmaceuticals were putting out. I remember hearing that at the beginning, but no, it seems now that the Warp Speed, which started under Obama, by the way, not under Trump, Operation Warp Speed is a military operation, and it started, the parent organization for that is the NSA, National Safety Association, as if it were, protecting national security. To have these vaccines. And when they say national security, they don't mean the country of the United States of America. They mean their federal United States Incorporated company, their security, because another factoid I learned today was all the way back in 1933, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who was our president at that time, there was an act. I think it's not. I wonder what the act was. I'm trying to remember what it was called. But there was an act in 1933 that he initiated, and in it defined the national enemy as the American citizen. Was their primary concern, that we were enemies of the state, identified by the president at that time. And of course, we have to understand that President FDR and all presidents have been presidents of a corporation. A corporate government, not of a nation of people. That's an important distinction to make. So anyway, so the NSA was the parent agency initiating this military operation we call COVID, we call pandemic. And under them, the next organization was the Pentagon. And inside the Pentagon are the Department of Defense, the DoD, and DARPA, and there was one other organization, another 5-letter organization like DARPA. And so these organizations, companies, private companies, again, because we think they're federal, but they're not, they contracted with Pfizer and Moderna and Johnson & Johnson and so on in order to make these vaccines. And I was saying I had heard Albert Bourla say that sort of profess his, and I don't know necessarily about his innocence, but he was definitely saying that he was merely fulfilling an order that he had received. And so the order had to come from, of course, the military. Dia, you have something you'd like to add?
Yes, let me lower my hand here. Back in, I think it was 2020, I stumbled across Sasha Stone. And he was talking about, maybe it was 2021, because he was talking about the vaccines. And he said what they stand for is, and I forgot the first two letters of COVID, CO something, and then VID is vaccination ID, right there. Then the other one, Moderna, modification of RNA. And the patent for the vaccine that was created by Gates is Luciferase 666. Anybody can look that up. It's all there. Just wanted to bring that out as like right there.
Yeah, Luciferase 666, and the patent is
for the vaccine. Yeah.
And COVID-19 certificate of vaccination
ID.
I is the wait a minute. Let me think what it was. COVID-19. 19. One is corresponds to the letter A, and 9 AI. I is the 9th letter of the alphabet. So
actually, I thought it was the year. I thought it was 2019.
Yes, but inside the 19, COVID-19 we call it, is the code for 19 is the code for AI. Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, certificate of vaccination AI, because they were introducing in the injection, they were introducing this intelligence, these nanoparticles, and the graphene, and everything that would merge the transhuman agenda, which is AI oriented. Yes.
Fun facts.
I know, we're getting back into the dark stuff.
Yikes.
Is there something else that I said off recording that I need to reiterate here, Dia, Christy? Can you remember? Oh, I was talking about the agencies, the 3-letter, 4-letter, and 5-letter agencies. How everybody thinks that those are part of the federal government, and they are not. They are private companies, and all of those private companies are ultimately owned by the United Nations, and the United Nations is ultimately owned by the global elites. We call them the global elites, the oligarchs, the people who are driving the agenda. Through the World Economic Forum, and through the United Nations, and through the World Health Organization. Those people are the negative ET agenda that Soma refers to, and down here on planet Earth we call them, maybe the European leaders, or the elites that control the European and American leaders.
But I think they're also, the snakehead has been cut off, and right now we're dealing with minions, and that's the narrative I like to follow.
Yeah, and no doubt there has been progress toward diminishing the negative presence. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Like as you said, we started off with about the finances, the financial situation that's being unraveled right now, the federal government. So things are happening.
Well, I was talking about the Federal Reserve. Has been ended, and the U.S. Treasury has absorbed the functions of the Federal Reserve. There's no Federal Reserve, and the Rothschild control, the monetary control over the people of the world, has officially ended as of the beginning of this most recently past week. And so that's wonderful news. And
that must be a delta, because I'd heard that it was ended like 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, I had heard this too. I had heard it through, that's back in the days when I was following Charlie Ward, and he was saying the Federal Reserve has been backed into the U.S. Treasury, and I had no idea what that meant. And now I'm hearing that same language, but I know it's a true thing this time, because it came from the fiduciary of the United States of America Unincorporated, which is the American government that has been being reconstructed, and has been fully standing for the last 5 years. And most people don't know about that either, but that's part of what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know when everybody will officially learn about the existence of the American government, but it definitely has been recognized by the International Court of Justice in The Hague. there is documentation to support that, but I don't have access to it just yet. It should be forthcoming, but I don't know exactly when we'll get a copy of the court order.
That's incredible that you found out all that to substantiate it. I mean, that's just, wow. Big news. That's great.
It's huge news, yeah.
I know you have a concern about it, when is it going to come out? But the way I see it is like we always get this information firsthand, and then we have to sort of hold space for that and bring that out to the masses so that they can accept all this stuff.
I wonder, I don't know what is the right vehicle for the general public to learn about it all, but I will speak about it freely whenever I can, and hopefully, it will be a grassroots kind of knowledge, because I really don't know when media is going to be willing to, or forced to acknowledge that. Right now, the people acting as our federal government are having a hard time assimilating that information. So we have to re-educate them first before maybe the general public would be receptive or filled in. I don't know exactly how it's going to pan out.
Yeah, well, they're all scrambling now because of the Epstein files, and a major, what's her name? Catherine, begins with an H. Sounds like a German last name in a way. Hummelmer? I don't know. She was from the Obama. She was Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer, and
what is her name?
The Benny Show. She was just on. The Benny Show. Benny. I can't get my thoughts out fast enough. Benny Johnson was just doing a thing about her and how, she resigned because she's in the files a whole bunch of times.
Oh, yes. So, I just heard her name for the first time. Yeah. This weekend. Yeah.
So she's part of Obama's, I forget all these technical terms, but she's part of his inner circle as well. So she resigned from that position. And she called Jeffrey Uncle Jeffrey all the time.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, and she accepted lavish gifts from him.
Oh my God, how nice.
Yeah. And Deepak Chopra was mentioned 3,300 times in the files too. So
no less than 3,300.
Yeah. Interesting number too.
That special number, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that number. I was just gonna say, Dennis, I saw you come on video and I wondered if that was because you had anything you wanted to say. Way back when we were talking about so many interesting topics about, I don't know, I can't remember now what we started with on this recording. We were talking about DNA. Oh, we were talking about injuries and things like that, vaccines. Did you want to contribute some thoughts? You're muted, so we can't hear anything if you're thinking about speaking.
All right, thank you. No, not on that. But later on I might speak on soul connection to other beings, but I don't feel we need to put it in now because we're dealing with a different subject.
Okay, thank you. All righty, just checking in.
Very good.
I'm down for jumping over to that topic. That sounds really fascinating.
Yeah, it does sound fascinating. Christy, is there anything else you want to add before we switch gears?
I would just be aware of really the content of conversation, because it can have an impact on one's vibrational state, because there's an energy in our voice, really. So I'm always aware of that, and I do feel the effects of it at times. It is interesting conversation to open up and kind of explore and understand, but there is a big distraction going on as we speak, and it's happening for a reason. It's to pull you away from something, and that is your life. So when you become aware of that, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I'm not interested in what's going on in this reality, but sometimes I'm very aware as to really where I'm viewing, where I'm speaking about, and the reasons I'm doing that, So I'm just saying that really now for myself, really, so I can again understand the importance of what I was advised by our star family, and was to not be too much concerned as to what's coming in here. Be more concerned as to what's coming from up here. Please
You're
remember that,
referring
dear
to the
one.
files and not letting them distract us too much. Am I correct? Yes. Okay.
Yes, yes. So we're being bombarded at the moment, really, and it's really interesting and it's juicy, and we want more of it. And you know, people would say that, yeah, it's a great film, okay, but it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper, like, and it has an impact, really. It can leave a mark. So um, I try to be aware and be more focused on what they're telling me rather than what our governments are telling me or what's going on. I can see what's going on to a certain point, but really, do I want to go down that rabbit hole and be part of that? Yeah, sometimes I do because it's interesting, but I'm aware that it can have an impact, like as regard to me tapping into my awareness, tapping into my relationship with Source, with my higher self, with these beings of light. And it is a reality. It is real, but you can make the difference on an individual basis. Really, to say, yeah, okay, let me open the curtains this morning and look at the sunshine rather than put on Sky News and see really how Mr. Mandelson is doing in the UK or whoever, like, that sort of way. That's just, again, it's real, it's happening, but we're all aware that the distractions that are put in place to move you,
Yes.
really. And by
Or
doing
to
so,
create the
really, there's
energy
a
that they
whole,
need, or to create the energy they need to feed off of us. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. That's
Yeah.
why
Thank
they
you for
build
that reminder.
football stadiums. That's why they build,
Yes.
yeah, where you have large groups of people, and we have
Yeah.
it in the UK and we have it in Ireland sometimes, where the energy is attacking each other because of the
They
color of
don't even
skin.
they don't need us to collect in a concert or stadium. They just need, so this is another purpose for the files, is basically, and the truths that are being revealed through the files, the shock and horror, and to maybe lower our frequency. We have to be careful. You're right. We have to be careful what we
Mm,
focus on.
mm,
But isn't
mm,
it also
mm.
to wake up the people that have no clue as to what's going on? I thought that was part
Yes,
of
but
it.
yes, probably that's part of it. But I think there might be a bigger agenda to our distraction, which is usually the case. Usually they want you to see something in front of your face so that you won't see what's happening behind the curtain that they're doing to defraud you, or worse.
Exactly, exactly. And that is why the TVs in Ireland just keep getting bigger.
Yeah,
They started at 28 inch, they went to 40 inch, now they're 60 inch, now they're 80 inch, and you can get a TV that goes across your whole room in your house,
yeah, the whole wall can be covered
and you
by
can have many programs going at once, like, that sort of way. So it's really interesting, really,
yeah.
what they're throwing at you at the moment, like, and there's an aspect of you that wants to come away from that, like, and that the spiritual oneness of self, and just wants to just remove that SIM card and say, okay, I want to take that out for a while because I'm suffering with that, and just bring me back in line with my heart chakra, and let me walk in the woods, and let me walk somewhere that will just allow me to connect really to source, like. So we're aware of all the tools, but there's an aspect and there's a part of us, of me, that is nosy and wants to go down that rabbit hole. Some people might call it the ego. Some people might call it just, I'm hungry for that information. It feeds me a vibration and an energy. But as I said, we're aware of the impact of that, and I try listen to what Renturis had said, just be careful because this can have an impact. We will give you what you want, that sort of way, and we will give it to you when you want it. It's just about you being in line and ready to receive it. And sometimes we're not there, we're caught where I head stuck in the fridge or something like that. Like, you know, the sort of way it's called life on Earth.
Thank you, Christy. Dennis, what was that you wanted to speak on?
It is just a point of clarification, which I'm sure Christy will agree with. So Christy there he's a very interesting man, and it is interesting. It's quite amazing that he has the amount of awareness and connections that he has. And you were putting the question to him how Renturus is some degree part of his higher self. And that seems to be so. And immediately in the outside, it's very easy to go, well, that's bloody wonderful. And, you know, wouldn't I like to have some of that? And like what I want to say is how there is a trap in that way of thinking. Because with the awakening, which is happening in the collective, we are all having an expanding of our consciousness, of our awareness. And so with that, we become more aware of the more. We become more aware of a step into the all. So we'll call it the more. And that awareness is going to be different for some people. Like some are aware of fairy people. More commonly, many humans will be, as part of their connection and awareness of the more, going beyond the matrix and the common held reality, many humans are aware of a past loved one, be it wife, parent, brother, sister, child. That is common. And then more are aware of guardian angels, and more are other humans are aware of some connection to galactics. And that awareness will be turning on for everyone in some direction, in some degree. But it's easy to fall into some kind of game. Oh, I wish I was that and I had the fairies, or I wish I had the Arcturians or whatever. Because that kind of thinking can lead us away from the important truth, the most valuable truth, that you are fractal of Mother, Father, God, that you are representative part of the all that is, that you are ambassador of the divine. You, as you are right now in your body, living your life, you are God ambassador. And it is easy to forget this, particularly if we're looking for other. We're looking for connection to other, be it fairies or dragons or galactics or higher dimensional beings. And all of those exist. And we are connected to all of them. We are all connected to all of them, some more than others, and some have more awareness of it. But the point is that above all these wonderful connections, whether it be to dragons or galactics or higher dimensional beings, what is most valuable, what is most powerful, what is most important, what is most sacred is your beingness, which is part, which in essence is part of the all that is. the divinity that is you. And then we get to choose, before we come into life, how we, as aspect of the divine, as aspect of Mother, Father, God, how do we reflect this mystery and how do we connect to it? And we choose in different ways. And I myself am aware that I have had invitations to, oh, you know, we'd like you to represent us. And I went, no, 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 no. That's not what I want to do. I've done that before. And I'm interested in my personal blueprint, in my plan to come in here, like everyone else who gets memory wiped, that I have that experience and that I come out of that experience and that I come to know of the glory and blessedness of the divinity that is within, which I have come to know of, in my own dumb, blind way. I have come to know that. And so because I have come to know it and remember it, I know that others can. And yes, we can be gifted it and we can be helped to come to this wonderful connection and awareness. But from my own lived experience in this body, in this lifetime, I know I can come in as dumb as a brick and make all sorts of mistakes and reconnect by myself. And there is something good in that, and there's something beautiful in that. And yes, we can receive help, but that's how I wish to continue in the something of the challenge of humanity, the blindness of humanity, the separateness that we have of being able to reconnect, and to let people know that reconnection is possible for all of us and everyone without it being given to us by anything or anyone.
Thank you, Dennis. That was beautiful. Also,
Thank you.
beautiful reminder of our capacity and potential, what we're born with, and sort of just an all acceptingness that we ought to have for ourselves and each other. Thank you for those observations. I will just note that it's 4:15. We've been engaged in this event for 2.25 hours now. It was my intent maybe to limit it to 2 hours. I'm going to open the floor for like last thoughts and ideas and reflections and perspectives. Anybody want to say anything else before we conclude for today?
I did want to, since my camera's working again, I did want to show the thing I didn't get to show last week off camera.
Oh,
and especially since Christy's here, I think he'll appreciate this. I wish Soma was here to see it too.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to leave your microphone on while you get it set up?
Well, I wanted to do it off camera, so you're still recording.
Okay. How are we going to see it? I mean,
you just turn off the recording.
Oh, you want to
stay on the Zoom.
You don't want to do it. You want to do it off recording.
Yeah.
Okay. Not okay. Okay. So I'm gonna just a minute. And so Seth, do you have anything to contribute before we disconnect for today? Dennis, I assume those are your concluding thoughts. Christy, you've contributed massively. Thank you so much. Do you have anything else you want to after? Oh, good. Seth is there. Go ahead, Seth.
Oh, just no thanks. Yeah, really great conversation. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you, Seth. Christy?
Yeah, I'm just aware again of the energy in the room, that the impact it can have on us all, really. And as I shared there just a few minutes ago, I pay I pay time at that. Like I take that into consideration as to really where the conversation is going, because me personally, you can have an impact, so maybe because I'm quite sensitive in 3D also. So I'm just aware as to really what they would prefer me to be engaging in, listening to, downloading, things like that, um so yeah, that's it. Thanks very much, Emily.
Thank you, Christy. I appreciate all of that contribution. All right, I'm going to wrap it up then for this week. Everybody who's here, please stay in the room so we can enjoy what Dia is going to share off recording. And we thank you so much to all the future listeners. And we are going to reconvene again next Saturday. So we look forward to seeing you at that time. Have a wonderful evening.
Woohoo!